Well, thank you so much for introducing me and talk a little bit about Maryland. So I am Paul Beatty. I'm the Director of Strategic Initiatives for the Maryland Department of Commerce. We are the state level economic development agency for the state of Maryland. So we work with our federal partners, including Select USA, who you saw present earlier, other state agencies, our local and county organizations, and of course, private industry, including venture capital, startup accelerators, et cetera. For those of you who don't know much about Maryland, including where it is, Maryland is an East Coast city for the United States, almost right in the middle of the East Coast. We are the closest state with Virginia to Washington, D.C. Our biggest city is Baltimore, and as you can see here, about a 3 or 4 hour drive from most of the East Coast metroplex, including a 2-hour train ride to New York City. Number 2 in the country for connectivity and overnight drive to about a third of the US population. 4 international airports, all the major highways come through Maryland on the East Coast, rail, the Acela train I mentioned, and the Port of Baltimore is one of the biggest in the United States. Maryland is a very highly developed state. It's known for its very skilled workforce, world-class education. It's one of the top states for research and development, in part because proximity to Washington, D.C. There are quite a few federal agencies and research agencies and the sort of associated investment dollars in Maryland. And then, you know, a lot of the sort of secondary things you want to see in a location you're interested in. One of the top credit ratings for states in the United States, high quality of life, and a very diverse state. 6 million people, very international state in terms of exports, 17 billion in federal research and development spending, which is the highest in the nation per capita. Number 3 for the Inc. 5000, I think that was fastest growing private companies. And Baltimore, again, our biggest city is one of the top 10 rising cities for startups. We are the number 4 life science cluster in the United States. Our entrepreneurship ecosystem, which I'll talk a little bit more in a minute, but there are more than 50 incubators, accelerators, research parks, co-working facilities, and one of the roles in my office is to help organize that for potential investors, startups, et cetera. Leading tech universities, Johns Hopkins University is world famous, particularly for medicine and health. University of Maryland, our flagship university, leader in many industries. University of Maryland, Baltimore County is one of the nation's top cybersecurity schools. And then I mentioned the federal research facilities, but that includes the National Institutes of Health, the National Institutes of Science and Technology, the National Security Agency, and the Food and Drug Administration. Workforce, like I said, number 1 concentration for STEM employees, number 1 for total technology and science workforce, professional and technical workers, and the talent pipeline are all top 5 in the country. Education is the same, and that's a pipeline from sort of kindergarten on up. One of the best public school systems in the states, one of the highest populations with bachelor degrees, and of course, number 2 for the concentration of doctoral scientists and engineers in the country. So no matter sort of what field your startup is in, the workforce is world-class. A couple of the industries, again, we work with any company in any sector, but some of the ones we highlight, IT and cybersecurity, aerospace and defense, logistics and distribution, life sciences, advanced manufacturing, financial and professional services, and that includes fintech, military and federal partners and contractors. Just cost of living compared to most of the other cities of our size on the East Coast, very affordable. And these are some of the resources my office offers that we can help with. That includes, market research, funding programs, access to funding programs, workforce training, and this is available to any company that is interested in exploring Maryland or starting up a location in Maryland. So then I want to, let's see if this will work. I want to highlight a couple other things. So this is the Maryland Entrepreneurship Hub. This is a partnership between the state, TEDCO, which is a sort of private-public partnership that includes venture capital for startups and a couple of other partners. And I'll put this in the link, or put this link in the chat, but show some of the resources available to startups in Maryland: funding, of course, networking, accelerators, etc. This is a map. As you can see, every dot here, it's almost 1,000 are members of this entrepreneurship ecosystem. So that includes, of course, accelerators and incubators, like we mentioned, but tech transfer, university partnerships, etc. So we all work together with these, and of course, the state can help connect you to anyone that might be helpful to you as you explore Maryland as a potential location. And to that end, last, I'd like to highlight the Maryland Soft Landing Program, which again, I will share in the chat, but this is a fairly new program that we officially codified last year. But this is for foreign companies that are interested in exploring Maryland as a market, which allows them to locate here physically with lower risk than a traditional sort of investment approach. So if you're interested, we'll work with you to partner with one of our network incubators or accelerators, and there are several of them listed here across the state. Provide access to a rent subsidized location for up to 3 months, connect you with educational programs, mentorship, networking, business partnerships, as well as targeted matchmaking meetings with other industry organizations, businesses that might be of interest. Many other resources. The clock is running out, but my information I'll share in the chat, and would love to talk to anyone who might be interested in Maryland as a potential location. So thank you all.
Yes, thank you, Paul. Thank you for sharing us more about the ecosystem, and also, of course, the benefits that startups and also founders can get if they do relocate in Maryland.